And today is the first time in about 2 weeks that I'm able to actually check on the worms. And this is my European Nightcrawler bin. As you can tell, a lot of activity. Seems like everybody is doing really well. And yeah, still traces of the pumpkins that I fed. And I think I'll go ahead and give them some more food. And this is the African Nightcrawler. Then one of the two bins that I have, they're side by side. And nice little activity on top of the cardboard. And as you can tell, yeah, they're doing good. Everything is pretty much eaten, so we'll go ahead and feed this bin as well. And this is my next bin, which is also African Nightcrawlers. Little slugs activity. Oh my goodness, yeah. Everybody looks really good. Now this bin, as you can tell, still has some of the pumpkin pumpkin left. Although seems to be the really hard stuff that takes very long to decompose. So we'll go ahead and give them food as well. Yep, they love cardboard. You can tell there is a lot of activity. This bin is due for a harvesting, but right now it's just way too cold to do that, so we'll wait a little longer. Okay, those are the castings that I need to be bagging because I have a buyer. And this is actually the contents of one of those containers where I was trying to raise also African Nightcrawlers. So the contents got dumped in here and I needed to harvest. Unfortunately, things got hectic at work and I was unable to do so, but they're still worms and they're actually doing really fairly well. They're fairly big. If we take, yeah, look at that. Nice. I might do that tomorrow or later on. Right now it's just a little too cold for my likings. Although it's amazing to see how worms can survive even in this cold environment. Those are African Nightcrawlers and they typically require a higher temperature, but the bedding is really cold. I mean, the castings are really cold and they're still doing fairly well. So probably get to this later today or tomorrow. Those instead are my cement tray, mixed cement tray that I'm using as a grow out, also for African nightcrawlers. So food seemed to be gone mostly. And you can see the worms are digging down, but they're nice size. And so we'll go ahead and feed this as well. Scoot it over a little bit. I think this plastic sheeting on top is helping retaining the moisture. As you can tell, there is condensation. I really recommend this method with any of your bin. Add a layer of cardboard on top of the bedding, and then on top of that some plastic sheeting, and you could use something like a trash bag, and what that does, any of the moisture content in the bin that tends to evaporate first gets absorbed in the cardboard, and if it's still moving upwards, the plastic sheeting maintains the moisture in. And so it's almost like a cycle. It goes from the bedding to the cardboard to the plastic sheeting, and then because it can go anywhere, the moisture goes back into cardboard. So I'm going to check, and those are also African nightcrawlers. Yep, I think we're doing good. This guy, oh my goodness, yeah, look at that. They are loving it. As you can tell, there is a lot of activity. But yeah, we can go ahead and feed this bin as well. So next step is get the food from outside, and I'm keeping the scraps, the pumpkins in this trash can. No, actually this is the bedding that I was working on in this can. And this is all the pumpkins that have been fermenting and decomposing. So I'm going to scoop the contents. I'm going to get probably 3 to 4 5-gallon buckets and spread it among all the worms. And once I'm done with that, I might post another video. So I went ahead and fed the worms. I added a couple buckets of the pumpkin sludge mix, and I spread it thin in the middle of all bins. I added my mix of pulverized eggshells, biochar, and some rock dust that is mixed together. So I sprinkled that a thin layer on top of all bins. Then I covered it with some shredded paper. And that's the last one. And then using my sprayer, I misted the top of the bin. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is put the layers of cardboard and carpet and the plastic sheeting on top and close everything down. Cover everything down. The temperature have dropped quite a bit, and my bin thermometer doesn't work, so I'm not 100% sure the temps are inside, but I think it's getting cold. It's getting to the point that I'll probably either need to put in some heaters on top, or I have this roll of this thermal blanket that is typically used to insulate homes. And so what I might do, I'll spread the blanket across all bins. Try to keep the temperature a little bit higher. The biggest challenge is with the mortar bin, because they don't hold too much mass. They tend to be cold. They tend to get cold quicker. But I also am going to feed the worm palace. As you can tell, I have all the bins on top, so I gotta move those and feed them too. And that should be the end of the feeding today. Thank you for following.